Hey guys, welcome to another Cooking with Jazz recipe. Today we are going to be making baked salmon and sweet potato salad. Now this is something that is really easy and then you can whip up together pretty quick. So first I'm going to make the marinade for the salmon. So I'm mixing some smoked paprika, which is one of my all-time favorite spices. And then once I've done that, I am going to add some garlic cloves that I have roughly chopped up on the chopping board and some lemon juice, and I'm going to give that a pretty good stir. So I really want this marinade to be a bit more liquidy than it is, so feel free to add some more lemon juice to it. This will just help it move from like this thick paste to something that is easily pourable to go over the salmon. Just one more quick little stir and then I'm going to add some salt to it. You could also add some chili powder if you want a little bit of heat kick to it, but I think the smoked paprika and garlic is just fine for this purpose. So I'm now going to move this away to one side and just bring the salmon. Now for this recipe I've chosen to go with salmon fillets that are boneless with the skin on, and I'm just going to pour the marinade all over the salmon, and then I'm going to use a little cooking brush to just brush it all over and make sure all the pieces are evenly coated with the marinade. I'm now just going to put the lid on top of the container and put this in the fridge to marinate. Now you want this to marinate for at least an hour, but as long as possible is best. Now we're going to move on to the sweet potato salad. Now I don't always peel my sweet potatoes, but since I figured this is the main event, I'll peel off the sweet potato peels to chuck into my compost or to make some crispy potato peel chips. And to make the sweet potato peel chips, just toss them with just a little bit of oil and salt and roast until they are crispy and good enough to eat. I'm now going to work on cubing the sweet potato, and I want them in fairly large chunks but all of an even size. You could cut these into rounds, but I feel when you cut potato into thin rounds, when you add it into a salad it just goes into mush and doesn't really hold its shape very well. So cubes is best here. Never realized how terrible my chopping skills are until watching myself chop sweet potato. I can see my fingers coming right off. I feel like this is going to be my next task in lockdown, is to learn how to cut properly without losing a finger. Right, and now these are just going to move away to a tray I've got prepared to the side, and then I'm going to work on the next vegetable to go in our roasting pan, and that is red onion. So basically I'm just going to cut it, I'm going to peel it, and I'm going to cube it as well. And oh my god, why haven't I lost a finger yet? Putting the chopping board aside now, here are our lovely chopped veggies. Now I'm going to add some rosemary to this and whole garlic cloves and olive oil. Now I probably put a little bit too much olive oil. The less is better, I find, and some salt. Now it is important with the garlic cloves that you keep the skin on, because if you don't, they're going to burn to a crisp, and I really want to keep them whole because I want to use them in the dressing that I'm going to make later on. So give this all a big toss, and then hopefully your oven has been preheated and is hot enough, and we're just going to whack this in the oven to bake. 20 minutes later, this is what our roast veggie mix is looking so far. Now I'm just fishing for the whole garlic cloves, and I'm going to take them out at this point because if I bake them any further they're going to go hard and crunchy and black. So back in the oven the veggies go, and since we've got another 15-20 minutes left of baking, I'm going to get the salmon in the oven to get ready as well. So just on top of some baking paper, I'm going to put the marinated salmon fillets on, and I'm just going to space them out as evenly as I can, and then I'm going to whack them in the oven for about 15 minutes or less depending on the size of your fillet. These are pretty big ones, Now, if you wanted to keep it crispy, you could broil it, but my grill doesn't really work on my oven. Now, moving on to our salad dressing. So, with those lovely roasted garlic cloves, I am literally going to squeeze the flesh out of their skins. Yes, you heard that sentence correctly, and it is very creepy. So, once I've done that, I'm going to give it a little bit of a mash as best as I can. They should be really soft and sweet at this point. And then I'm going to add some balsamic vinegar as much as you please, as well as some honey to give it a hint of sweetness. And just put the dressing aside now because now we're going to start assembling the salad. So, in a large bowl, start layering some baby spinach or greens of your choice. Rocket would go really nicely with this salad. And then on top of the spinach, we're going to add some walnuts for a bit of crunch and a bit of texture difference. And then on top of that, we're going to put on some of our roasted sweet potato. Now, once you've got a few layers of that going on, you can pour your dressing all over and give it a good toss in your bowl. And now we're ready for plating up and serving because your salmon should be done now and it's time to eat. So, on top of my salad, I've added some goat's cheese. Some blue cheese would be an awesome addition. And then here is my lovely piece of salmon that is fresh and hot out of the oven. This is perfect if you want to serve it with a lemon wedge. And that's it for today's recipe. For the full recipe, please go visit cookingwithjazz.com. The link is in the bio below. And don't forget to subscribe here on Cooking with Jazz on YouTube. And why don't you come find me over on Instagram and show me a picture of your version of this? Thanks, guys. Hope to see you soon. Bye.